Is the job you have right now something you're passionate about? Does it utilize your talents and allow you to feel a true sense of accomplishment? People who follow their heart and do the things they love will thrive in the new earth. How can you gain more clarity if you're not sure what that looks like in your own life? Grace Gravestock is a transformation maverick. She's on a mission to redefine success and fulfillment, allowing people to resonate at their highest frequency. So we've talked before about this being an important time where anything's really possible. And whatever you did before, for your job, for work, that could all be changing. And so part of this whole process is getting clarity, right, Grace, on what you're going to be doing, because you may be good at a lot of things, or maybe you need to tweak things a little bit. So how do we get clarity on whatever our next move is?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Sunny. That's such a great question. I find that a lot of my coaching clients over the last 6 years, it is the number one question I get, because I say, well, what do you want? And people mostly say, I don't know. So,
because we're not wired that way. We're wired for survival, right?
right.
We're not wired to think I could do what I want to do. What do you mean?
Right. It's such a new concept for most people. So, but the good news is that I have found is that we are powerful creator beings, and that we can use gratitude to intentionally create the life we want. So I'm going to share with you a practice that I use every day. And it's one of the secrets that I teach in my coaching programs. ActivateYourLifePurpose.com is where you can get a video of it for free, and I'll walk you through the details, but I'm going to give you the 411 on it real quick because it's so powerful and it's so easy. So here's what you need. You need 5 minutes a day minimum and a pen and paper. A lot of people ask me, can you do it on a computer? Can you do it on an app? Sure. Do whatever, just do it. But I find that you get the best results with a good old fashioned pen and paper. So to get clarity on your next step, what you want to do is what I call my 2-step gratitude practice. And it starts like this. You write on the piece of paper. I like to use a spiral notebook because it's easier to write in every day, and you can keep track of it and see your results. I'm so happy and grateful that. And then you fill in the blanks, 1, 2, 3. Leave yourself space to at least write 3 things. And what you want to fill that in with is things that you're genuinely happy and grateful for right now. And so I like to think back, like in the last 24 hours, what happened that I really enjoyed? What put me in joy? Get it? In joy, enjoy. So when I think back in my last 24 hours, most of the time I'll notice that what really made me feel so good was a connection with people. And so I'll think about the people that I had great conversations with, for instance, or the way that it made me feel, or affection with loved ones, or whatever it is. But what I want you to write down is what you genuinely appreciated and why. So it's really important. So for instance, if you said, I am so happy and grateful that I have time alone every day to just be with myself, maybe to meditate or have quiet time. Why is that important to you? So I want you to write that down. Write 3 things about what's happened to you, maybe in the last 24 hours. It could be in the last week, could be in the last 2 hours, but the 3 things you're genuinely happy and grateful for. Now that sounds like a regular gratitude practice, right? And a lot of people teach that, and it's all really good because it helps us get into a state of gratitude. But when we want to get clarity on our next steps, what we want to do is to see the patterns. So then the second part is, it sounds the same, so pay attention. I'm so happy and grateful that, and again, we're going to fill in the blanks with at least 3 things, but this time we're going to write what we don't yet have, that we want to have, that we can feel grateful for now, as if it's already here. So each of those are important, and I'm going to explain why. So I'm so happy and grateful that this is the part where we're intentionally creating our next steps. And so if you don't know what you want to put in there, this is where you look back on the pattern that has started to come through if you've been doing this for a few days. And you say, wow, I really, like for me, I noticed when I first started doing this, I love connecting with people. I love having deep conversations. And so so what I want to create then is more of that. So then I would say, and here's my favorite story to share, when I first did this and I got a job, my dream job, and I started it in less than a month. And so I wrote, 4 things. This is the part where I wrote it. So I wrote, I'm so happy and grateful that I work with leaders that I respect and can learn from. I'm so happy and grateful that I can do work in my core competency areas of change management and communications. I'm so happy and grateful that I get paid to travel. And I'm so happy and grateful that I work with people that I like and they like me. So all those things, right? It's important, but you could tell probably by listening what my problems were in my last situation, right? But I wrote those things down, and within a week, as soon as I got clarity, and here's the funny part that I want to highlight. So when I wrote, I get paid to travel, I was like, well, how much do I want to travel? And so the first day that I wrote it, I wrote, okay, 50%. And then I kid you not, the very next day, somebody called me and they said, saw your information on LinkedIn and they told me about this job. It sounded exactly like what I'd written. I mean, it fit all the criteria. And she said, but here's the thing, it's 50% travel. Is that okay with you? And I'm like, oh gosh, that feels like too much. So I went back to my gratitude journal that night and I wrote differently. I'm like, so happy and grateful that all the same things, but I'm so happy and grateful it's 30% travel. I get paid to travel 30%. The very next day, same thing happened, different person. And they literally said to me, word for word, but this requires 30% travel. Are you okay with that? So I did the math and I'm like, 30%, that's still a little bit more than I want. So I said 20% because I really just want one short trip a month. That would be great. So as soon as I got to 20%, I felt this calm inside me and this peace. And boom, as soon as that happened, and I was writing this for 4 days, 4 days straight, I wrote this with variations. And once I did that, boom, I started this process that got me what was then my dream job. And it was amazing. So that's the process, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Repeat, just repeat that every day and you will get clarity, because every time you write it, you're kind of recommitting. Is this really what I want? And when you start to write the same thing over and over, for sure that you have something you want, and you'll start to see it showing up. You'll see something in your see it, something you can see, smell, taste, touch, or hear, usually, that will be something for you to respond to, which is directly related to what you said you wanted. It's so amazing how it works. So activateyourlifepurpose.com is where you can get the full practice for free.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an exercise in manifestation, really, is what you're doing. You're bringing it forth, right? So from your, your mind, your brain, your consciousness, and then really telling the universe what you want.
Yes. Happening. And you're connecting it with your heart and the emotions. It's really a key part. Feeling it as if you already have it. Each of those pieces are really important.